Do 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 do. What is it? Do 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 do. And we are back with another Uptown Films podcast.
Yes.
I am Bernadette, and this is
I'm Gordon Taft.
cool.
Thank you, Bernadette Mahoney.
Yes, no worries. So we have a lot to talk about today on Uptown Films podcast. A lot in the news, a lot of stuff going on. But what have you been up to, Gordon? What have you been watching as of lately?
Lately, I'm gonna start off with the one that kind of ties into yours, considering who directed it. I rewatched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Sometimes it drags a little bit, but it's wonderfully paced overall. It's incredibly funny.
Yeah.
They're such inspired surrealists and satirists. Oh God, there's so many great lines and jokes in there. Get on with it. Or I love when Michael Palin's playing the guy who's like, we're part of an anarcho syndicate. They were kind of this suggesting like this sort of left wing like commune, and like Terry Jones is playing his mother. It's like, shut up, Dennis.
Yeah, it's that British humor.
Yeah.
It's very very sarcastic kind of humor
And very silly.
Yeah.
It's that silly and sophisticated. They kind of like live like side by side.
Yes.
And John Cleese is the French taunter. I fought in your general direction. I love John Cleese. I love all of them.
Yeah.
And anytime the knights are confronted, they're like, run away.
Yeah.
I love when they catapult the cow over the side of the castle and then run away.
Yeah, that movie's funny. I remember watching that movie back in high school. When we kind of it was kind of for the kid. We watched that in News Radio, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that movie's hilarious in terms
so
of just funny.
Oh God, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
I remember back then watching the Holy Grail in college with a friend who's a huge Monty Python fan. I remember watching Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. Life of Brian, I've only seen the first 20 minutes and I thought it was hilarious, but I have to finish it. That was earlier this year. I love A Fish Called Wanda. Another, Python adjacent. It's John Cleese, Michael Palin, but you also have Jamie Lee Curtis and Kevin Kline in there. Kevin Kline won the Oscar for that.
For that, yes.
Oh God, it's hilarious. That movie is classic. I love it.
Yeah, and speaking of which, he also, I know if you like the Monty Python kind of humor, have you ever heard of the TV show The Young Ones?
I've heard of it.
It's from the 80s. It's like Monty Python, but for the 80s generation. It's with that reverent kind of humor kind of thing, and that they're also really hilarious as well too.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Rick Miles, the actor on there.
I think so. Yeah.
He was in Drop Dead Fred. That's the
Yes,
guy.
that him. Yes.
Yeah. I've never watched The Young Ones, but I've heard it's a great show.
Yeah. It was short-lived, but it definitely made a mark on British comedy as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Monty Python and the Holy Grail's director Terry Gilliam, he also directed a certain movie you recently watched.
I recently watched Brazil, which was yes. Which was that song kept on going throughout the whole entire. Yeah.
It's funny because that song's popped up in ads so many times over the years, and then when I finally saw the film, that's where they got it from.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Good thriller. Also had Bob Hoskins in it, who I enjoy, and Robert De Niro was in it.
De Niro's in it.
In a very kind of different light. So that was interesting.
Go in, go out. Where there's trouble, man alone.
Yeah.
I love De Niro in there. I love that film. That's such an insane movie.
It is. I do like the kind of the irreverence, the whimsy of that movie.
It's so silly in all the great ways. Terry Gilliam is a madman, and the way it ends is just he knows how to do an ending.
Yes.
And it has a legendary ending that plenty of people have seen like the images from.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what do you think of what do you think of the ending? Don't without spoiling it.
I thought it was good. I thought that it was, very like iconic.
Yeah.
I love, like I said, I love the whimsy of it. It kind of reminded me of like when we were talking. It kind of reminded me of like Pee-wee's Playhouse, like
Yeah.
the film in general, in terms of like just like all the things in the movie, because it was kind of like also about the future,
Right.
but in kind of a very kind of contractual way, like everything, like kind of like the design of like the
Everything's a
yeah,
nutty contraption.
exactly. It kind of reminded me of Mousetrap as well
Oh,
too.
that's funny. And that's actually a really fair comparison. Like,
Yeah.
it's like silly but darkly funny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm talking about the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
It's
thinking
all
of
right,
the
it's
movie
the
now.
movie.
But it's like the wide angle lens look of
yeah.
it. Terry Gilliam is great with that stuff, and it's like the whole world of that film is funny yet sinister.
Yeah.
Like when you see Michael Palin, I always think of when he goes into like I think his office and the camera quickly dollies in when he turns around.
Yeah.
Oh man, Terry Gilliam's interesting with my like love of film because I grew up loving Time Bandits.
Yes.
That was like my first connection with him and like Monty Python stuff. And I think it formed so much of what I find funny, and it explains why a lot of the Monty Python stuff I kind of easily dialed into. They're so influential. I mean, you look at so much animation. Like I always think
Yeah.
about like animators are always like comedy nerds. It seems
Yeah.
they love silent cinema, and like Monty Python's beloved too. Even though I mean it's not silent, it's very verbose.
That's where like a lot of the animation gags and a lot of the animation humor comes from. Comes
Right.
from like the comedies, comes from like the Chaplins, comes from the Marx Brothers,
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
yeah.
I definitely agree with you about Time Bandits. I think it's probably, in terms of kind of like some of my favorite time travel films, it's definitely up there after Back to the Future. So if you need
Yeah.
a time travel film that's not Back to the Future to watch, it's definitely
Right.
Time Bandits.
Those two were like big ones for me growing up, especially Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I will never forget the way Time Bandits. I haven't seen in a long time. There's a lot I remember vividly. Like I revisited some clips, and then like I always remember how it ends.
Yeah.
It's like you touched the piece of evil. I'm like, oh my god. I don't want, without spoiling. It's nutty. It's another like Terry Gilliam like what the fuck ending.
Yeah. And it's just interesting because like both movies also kind of hark on the influence of technology, because the villain in the movie of Time Bandits was always talking about technology and about computers and about the way of the future and stuff like
That's
that.
funny.
And then like you have the movie like Brazil, which is like
All
about the future and
Yeah.
about all about the future and like all these different contracts, which is really funny because like now that we're in the future
Yeah.
that they kind of like, it's kind of like they had to use like they had like a screen within a screen when like on the computer
Yeah.
and that kind
Oh,
of
that's
stuff.
right. It has like the magnifying glass
Yes.
over it. It's funny that film has like the look of a 40s noir merged with like, like future technology.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of like Mouse Hunt, which is like, I mean, Mouse Hunt's not futuristic, but it's like the 90s living alongside the 40s, because in that movie,
yeah.
they all dress like it's like 1943. It's like World War II is going on, but like you have like what was then contemporary like
Yeah.
tech pop up in the film, and I see Brazil's link in that, and also Hudsucker Proxy kind of like has the similar look to Brazil. The Coen Brothers film Hudsucker Proxy,
Okay.
nutty movie. It doesn't look exactly like Brazil, but it's like if you watch them side by side, you're like, oh, I see the influence, the line of
Yeah.
that. Nutty, like kind of like postmodern, like pastiche of another genre, another time period. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's what we've been watching as of lately in terms of movies. What other movies have you seen this week?
It's funny. 12 Monkeys, going back to Gilliam. I rewatched that. That's one of my favorites. That's my favorite of Terry Gilliam's stuff. Yeah, that movie's terrific. I think that's like his best film. And like Brazil, like I love Brazil, but I feel like it could be like maybe like 10 minutes shorter.
It is a long movie.
It's and it's like it's a film that's like it's like densely layered with gags, which is very Python.
Yes.
I love that stuff, but it's like a hair over. It's like okay, like maybe just like pull it in a bit. Like like I always think of the famous like desk gag,
Yes.
you know, but outside of that, I watched I love Francois Truffaut, and I watched Stolen Kisses. Francois Truffaut, for those who don't know, legendary French filmmaker, blew up during the French New Wave of the '60s. His breakout film, which was part of like I guess kicking off the French New Wave, The 400 Blows, was 1959. It's one of my favorite movies. He also made other great films like Jules and Jim and Shoot the Piano Player and Stolen Kisses, which was a sequel to The 400 Blows. The protagonist, Antoine Doinel, played by Jean-Pierre Léaud, he played this character over the course of 4 feature films, 1 short film, and all directed by Francois Truffaut. And this is about Antoine from The 400 Blows now as an adult. It's a coming-of-age story. And he's dating this girl who's pretty well off, and it's all about like his misadventures and trying to stay employed. And he works as a private investigator. It's really funny. Cool. It's musical in a way that he is like it's not a musical, but it has this wonderful musical rhythm to it.
Okay.
The way that
like in terms of like the energy
of it, and it's a beautiful film, and it's a wonderful movie about not knowing where to go in your 20s.
Well, I'll definitely have to check that out. I think I definitely need to up my game with like the international, more French films as well too. Yeah. But that's definitely a great start.
It's good good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
here's the big one.
So, I guess we'll switch gears and talk about what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And usually we talk a lot about film and television, but I guess this can possibly relate to film and television down the line. We might not know.
I mean, movies are going to talk about it.
Oh yeah, for years to come.
Oh yeah. I mean, the jokes already are out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. This is it. But recently the House and the Senate passed the bill to put on the floor the Epstein files.
Yeah.
So now the Trump administration has 30 days, from what I know, 30 days to submit those files. Right. So then it could be, I'm not sure if I think they're going to be speaking on it on the floor.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the Epstein files, there's been much controversy over whether to release them or not. Trump has gone back and forth over, trying to wash his hands of saying of being on the Epstein files and acting like he doesn't have to do anything to do with it, despite all the evidence. And then it's the song and dance becomes, there's nothing there. They're not real, you know. And it's like we don't want to focus on that. He'll declassify JFK and MLK's the files on them. And Epstein, no, that's a no-go. But now, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, who has since announced actually that she is about to resign from her position as of January of 2026.
Yeah, so, interesting timing.
It is, yeah.
She was in support of releasing the Epstein files. Trump dubs her as a kind of traitor. And, geez, I wonder why she's resigning.
Yeah, it's a lot going on with this in terms of, and then recently Donald Trump said that he was going to sign it. He said he signed it.
Right.
For me, I think, like, as a viewer watching this, I feel like the 30-day time frame is kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, this is going to be a bigger, history has shown that this is going to be a big thing. Yeah. This is going to probably be one of the biggest scandals since Watergate, even bigger than Watergate.
Yeah.
Because now you're dealing with subject matter and themes of trafficking and sex trafficking and, those kinds of things. I don't even know if, So this is going to be a very big deal. I also think like this is not only just about Donald Trump. This is
Right.
going to be about a lot of powerful people
You got that right.
in office, and it might also be about, different business people that we are in the public eye, different celebrity. A lot of
Yeah.
I recently heard that one of the executives from LinkedIn recently stepped down
Ooh,
as well too. So
peculiar.
it's just like, or resign, and it's just like, it's just a lot going on, and like this is a big time.
Yeah.
And yeah, what are your thoughts in regards to that?
Whew. It's very loaded. Any like new scandal that comes out about Trump, like the question that kind of hangs over my head is how low can you go? I'm not talking about with him, particularly with just whoever is like in his corner who's looking to support him and pave his way to something much more insidious for all of us. People just say it's hearsay, and people love to deny, and we're in an age where it's so ironic. The proliferation of technology and information that comes from a lot of tech and a lot of the internet and big tech, so prolific, yet it's distancing us more and more from like critically thinking about what information's out there and putting
Yeah.
pieces together, because it feels like a mountain of information that essentially just cancels out its own significance in the sense that, well, you could find a billion facts, quote unquote, from like different sources, and people will try to legitimize whatever they believe due to whatever, like, like they'll take any, whatever they read that fits their narrative, they'll subsume it into that and
Yeah.
use that to essentially build a perspective on the world. No one is critically thinking about anything anymore, which is like really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's a splintered world we're living in. Yeah, like that's the big thing I'm thinking about with this whole Epstein thing. The Epstein stuff has had traction for like a good 6 years now,
Yeah.
in terms of just like public discussion. And for a while, the Epstein files were like everyone kind of like, even though like they didn't quite do it in unison, everyone, I guess, at the same time for their own reasons, not entirely for their own reasons, because a lot of people agreed to like the stuff being like on the table and being discussed was like really horrible things. People, of course, could spin it towards whatever narrative they wanted. It's like, well, okay, it's like we all agree child sex trafficking is awful, and then there are people who basically be like, oh, who do I want to put in the hot seat to be accused of that?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton was on there. That's likely. Also, Trump was on there, but they'll deny that. And it's this like no one really quite realizes that like people in power aren't exactly like like Joe Schmo or like John Q. Public.
Yeah.
They're not like the regular person. They love to spin this myth that they are and turn themselves into folk heroes, like a certain orange blondie. Hint, hint. Not so hint. But yeah, like the gap between like the solidarity between people, between people with shared class, people who are working class, people who are middle class, lower middle class, it feels like it's eroding a little bit.
Yeah.
And you don't want to end up being foot soldiers for the man.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing. That's what it's kind of at stake. This whole Epstein stuff. That's just the next step in it. I'm like, I wonder. I don't quite wonder in the sense that I have a feeling I know what's going to happen next, but I gotta wonder. I do wonder, because you don't quite know what happens tomorrow. But I'm really worried.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on like the amount of information that's coming in is coming in at such a fast rate. It's coming in with so much information.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that spinning of the narrative to fit your own narrative
Right.
rather than, seeking out other experiences or other narratives is
Having a
really,
conversation.
is really contributing to kind of the erosion of our society.
Yeah.
And I also think it's really like this is the point in time where it's really like, do we stay like not talking, like do we stay in this kind of like pattern,
Right.
or do we kind of start fighting, like start
Absolutely.
fighting back, and you know really ask, really kind of. And I think also not only that, but it also kind of starts with us as well too.
Totally.
It kind of reminds me of like the fact that we are going through at the same time that all of this is happening, the United States is going through a literary crisis.
Oh yeah.
Like, and how the numbers of reading and writing, not just reading and writing just to read and write, but reading and writing comprehension and
Right.
understanding is going down.
Yeah.
And media literacy is going down as well
Totally.
too. So these things are kind of like coinciding at the same time. And what I'm saying is that like it's really up to us to really start changing that kind of narrative of who we want to be.
Absolutely.
In terms of like, okay, now we're seeing like this, like it's really up to us and what we decide to do and how we decide to go about what's going on in the world today.
Right.
I also think that the American public, with what's going on with the Epstein files, they have the right to know.
Yeah.
This is like I said, I think that this is gonna be bigger than Watergate.
Yeah.
Because this is gonna open kind of like a floodgate of a
Right.
lot of just things that have been going on behind the scenes that a lot of the American public doesn't know about. I think it's also going to kind of, as if the American public wasn't disillusioned enough.
Right.
It's probably also, it's just like how Watergate disillusioned the American public back in the 70s. I feel like that is going to also happen with this as well too.
Yeah.
Because like, as much as we kind of don't want to admit it, I think a lot of us look like sometimes also we've also grown up to look up to these kinds of people in these kinds of spaces,
Yeah.
in these powerful positions. And we're kind of starting to see that confidence start to erode as well too.
Another erosion.
Yeah, where it's like we are supposed to, like, as a society, we are supposed to be looking up to who the president of the United States is.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be kind of feeling kind of that optimism of like the fact that this person is going to get this job done and stuff like that. But we put
Right.
it into the hands of somebody that is a part of the, that is a, racist, sexist, homophobic, rapist,
Great.
and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like,
It was just about to get us demonetized. No.
yes. So like, it's just, yeah. I think at this point, the American people we as a people have to decide both internally and externally, just like how we are going to go about this and how we're going to kind of start getting back to really, utilizing reading and writing comprehension and making sure that we understand what is going on in the world rather than having it spin with our narrative.
Totally. Yeah, it's like a lot of confirmation bias in the air. It's like believe what you want to believe. Day.
Exactly.
Like that's
that's
the
a
world.
problem rather than believing actual facts.
You know what else kind of lines up with just creating your own reality?
Mm-hmm.
AI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Speaking of which.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know we talked about this last time, but we have more updates in regards to what's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yes.
So now Warner Brothers Discovery is in the market to bid the company to, I guess, the highest bidder.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the people that are involved have been Netflix, Paramount,
Yeah.
and I think Universal at one point. I don't know if Universal's still at the running, even though I kind of like if that is the case out of all those three studios, I hope Universal gets it. If they do end up doing it.
Like, what's your reasoning? Like, what do
In
you?
my reason, because I actually don't want this to happen, but if it
Yeah.
has to come to those three,
Right.
I just say in terms of kind of like some of their ethics, in terms of kind of like their story, like in terms of kind of like their ethics, they're kind of better than the other candidates.
Yeah. Donald Langley is still the head of Universal, or am I?
I think so. Also, just the fact that, you know, I just feel like the other people that we're gonna get into are having kind of like side deals with other places.
Oh yeah. So
Other spaces. Yeah.
Paramount, Netflix. Yeah.
I don't. And Netflix, the fact that like Netflix doesn't want, like, they said that they're gonna premiere the stuff in theaters.
Yeah, they don't like to. I mean, I don't know what Netflix's dealings is going to be with as one of the candidates for Warner Brothers. Reed Hastings, I know, like a lot of his like end goal was like to have like a lot of stuff distributed online through Netflix in terms of like the Netflix original stuff. Even though like he does theatrical releases, I always sensed like over the years that it was kind of begrudgingly. You know, certain filmmakers get that perk. Martin Scorsese, Noah Baumbach. Noah Baumbach, you could say, got it twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know if White Noise premiered in the theater, but like Marriage Story, his other like Oscar movie, Jay Kelly, which I'm not sure if it's going to get nominated, but it's likely. That's in the theater currently. His latest film, Frankenstein from Guillermo del Toro, was played in the theater recently. Yeah. Knives Out, the third Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man. But yeah, like a lot of these like theatrical runs, like it seems like Hastings' philosophy is really, he ultimately prefers like the streaming experience, which it's horrible.
Yeah.
Of course, to have that as a perk is great, but yeah, like put it in a movie theater.
Yeah.
But
I think that's why I'm like hesitant about the Netflix one.
Yeah.
Paramount, just in terms of just like their
it's a whirlwind of chaos for Paramount right now.
It's just
Skydance,
and
oh my God.
The fact that like Paramount is currently working with I guess entertainment places from Saudi Arabia.
Right.
I feel like that is gonna be a problematic situation.
It was a Saudi Arabia, like there's this company in Saudi Arabia, or was it the government? There was a deal of $900 million was given to like in the bid for Warner Brothers, and it was also to develop an AI company.
Yeah.
Oh boy. South Park, save us. No,
yes. But yeah, I think just that Paramount deal just sounds like. I also think there's just something underlyingly sinister that is going on with particularly that Paramount deal and them wanting so hard to want Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
There's something really and I think it goes back to Project 2025.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of they're trying to like, Trump's kind of cornered them into his pocket.
Yeah.
Because there's the 60 Minutes interview he sued them over. I forgot the amount he sued them over.
Yeah.
It's probably very exorbitant. Basically saying that they portrayed him in an unflattering light. What they did wasn't libel, really. But no, he's trying to spin it that way, of course, because, media cannot say anything nasty about me because that's bullying when he's just a jackass. But I can think of worse words for him, but... Yeah, there was a 60 Minutes piece that he accused of having bias towards Kamala Harris. That was back in December. Paramount basically was, gave South Park that deal of, I believe it was $2 billion for like 50 more episodes. And South Park has been satirizing them quite a bit. The first episode back was satirizing that deal and Colbert.
Yeah.
Basically getting canceled and his show getting wrapped up next May, this coming May. going back to Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabian money going into American entertainment, or something that would kill entertainment, AI, but to like legitimate talents, there's a lot of like notable comedians, Bill Burr, Pete Davidson, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., like a bunch of these really famous comics who went to like the Riyadh Comedy Festival, and there was a huge controversy over them getting Saudi Arabian money from the government to do this, be a part of this comedy festival.
Yeah.
Certain comics reasoned that they wanted to share their work with a non-American audience, but this is a thorny little situation,
especially with kind of like the human rights things that are going on in Saudi Arabia.
Jamal Khashoggi has been brought up as a topic. Jamal Khashoggi was a Saudi Arabian journalist who was sentenced to death back in 2018, I believe.
Yep, and the president had the Prince of Saudi Arabia in the White House just the past week.
Of course he did.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's tying up to something more sinister with Project 2025, because one of the goals of Project 2025 with the Heritage Foundation and all those other foundations is to have a control of the media.
Bingo.
And that is a way, by monopolizing on different medias and studios and stuff, like pretty much what like the Warner Brothers is pretty much doing is kind of like what they did in the 80s with like Wall Street, where it's like you buy something, you kind of liquidate the money and the assets and different things like that, and then you sell it to the next bidder. Yeah. It's kind of similar to like that thing, but I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to sell it to a company that will align with Donald Trump's what he believes in, his values, if he has any, his beliefs, his values, and like what, not even just Donald Trump, but the administration as a whole.
MAGA.
With Matt and all that kind of stuff as well too. So that's why I'm thinking, like, if this is something that is going to eventually happen, Universal will probably, in my opinion, probably be like the best person to kind of
hold the line.
Hold the line for Warner, because like I haven't really heard anything from NBC. I don't know if they're bending, if they're bending the knee as much as like other places. But please feel free to let us know. But I just feel like that, and also I feel like it will. In a business standpoint, it will be able to expand their theme parks and their IPs. Yeah. But then also at the same time, on a more ethical standpoint, it will it just seems like their ethics are a little bit better in terms of just like maintaining that Warner Brothers legacy and that Warner Brothers storytelling.
Comparatively so.
Compared to the other. That's where I'm coming from with that.
I feel you. Yeah. I feel you.
Because it seems like this is going to be something that's inevitable. Yeah. Which is unfortunate, because I really want, a few companies should not be monopolizing on.
Hopefully we get if something like that happens, hopefully we get a United States versus Paramount Pictures kind of thing, where it's like this landmark court decision to like because that court case is all about like studios owning movie theaters. That's why like movie theaters used to be named after movie studios. Yes. Oh, they're Columbia on like 8th Avenue. That's Columbia Pictures. Hey, I'm going to Paramount on 42nd and 9th. These aren't. I'm making these up, but
but that was the thing.
That was the thing. Yeah. They would call it that like years after like these theaters were like pulled out of like direct ownership, and be like, well, Lowe's got that theater now. And Lowe's was a part of MGM. It used to be. Lowe's got bought by AMC in like 2006. But yeah, like it's a crazy little country we live in. It's oh god. Yeah.
The only thing that I am weird about, if that does happen, is the Supreme Court. which is
Ooh, oh
another
yeah,
because like the majority of the Supreme Court is also
yeah,
now like beholden to the president.
totally. They're in his
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
And phew, let's go a little lighter. I'm
Let's
looking at
switch
our
gears a little
topics.
bit. But yes, those were pretty much like the things that were in the news this week.
Yeah.
But we could do something a little bit lighter.
Keep that passport close by.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Gen Z
Yeah,
and
let's talk about Gen Z. We
the
haven't talked about
movies.
we haven't talked about Gen Z much on this podcast.
I technically fit in. I'm born 97.
Cool, cool.
Max is born 99.
Mm-hmm.
Our guest today, born 2002, I believe. I don't. Yeah, like I. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So as Gen Z, what kind of things are you guys looking for in like your movies? Because like I know a lot of like based on there was this one article on like in the Hollywood Reporter where it was talking about what Gen Z is interested in. A lot of Gen Zers mentioned that they don't like sex on screen. This is coming from like the article. They don't like sex on screen. They prefer movies that kind of are movies and I guess like love interests, if you call it, based more on friendships, based more on kind of more grounded kind of. They don't like the kind of like in the past, like if you ever see movies, they don't like the over the top kind of like love bombing that happens in movies.
Oh, like going to the airport to chase.
Yeah,
down
like
your
going chasing
beloved
or like the radio over the head, say anything
while,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Kiss Me plays.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like they really don't like 1998 that much.
No. Or much of like they probably don't like much of like 89 or or like to say anything kind of generation of movies or anything like that.
When you know that you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with someone, you want your rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Yeah,
like
that kind of stuff.
I wonder what that's from. Animation, you said, like is a
yeah.
Is something
Animation
to
is another
to,
thing that a lot of
that was
Gen
mentioned in the
Zer
article?
mentioned like they really enjoy and that they really like. So what do you guys like now? Since you're a Gen Zer, is that true? Is that something that you like to see? I know.
I don't really have any like. I don't know if that article quite applies to me.
That's another thing too, because like you're kind of like you know also about like movies and like the auteurs and like about a lot of different genres and different things like that.
Yeah,
You've studied like film
I don't know if that would
in
be the
comparison
thing
to the regular.
Well, that's an interesting point that you brought up. I'm going to get to that next, but knowledge of film, I don't know if like the taste outline of the article, the distinction of taste, I don't know if that is a result of like the cinephilia that I have versus like something like from like Zoomers who aren't cinephile types. I don't think that's like the reason for that. I think it may be what you mentioned about like the sex on screen thing. It could be like the accessibility of like certain adult materials, and some people have essentially. I don't know if it's like people have like been like burnt out or like living in a culture like that where it's so accessible. There is a kind of the discomfort like built that accumulates around that.
Yeah.
People have mentioned that as a topic.
Factor.
Gen Z and like sex scenes, that's been like an interesting like topic on film Twitter for some time. I haven't engaged in it, but I've just seen like I've engaged in it insofar as I've read like Twitter threads on like people responding to like an article that talks about that stuff like that. Movies don't have sex scenes anymore, yada yada yada. Marvel killed sex scenes, whatever. I mean, superhero movies never really had that, but even before, but I guess they had a sex scene that was like PG-13. But even now, you're not going to see like some kind of prelude to like a sex scene like in a Marvel movie or what have you. Definitely speaks to how like like family friendly they've gotten.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. It's an interesting conversation because everyone's talking about like also erotic thrillers, and
which you don't see too much of that much anymore. Yeah,
it's coming back in a sense, and there are movies that are definitely like going for it in terms of like like explicit sex scenes. There's this horror film that I'd seen recently. what's revealed later in the film will make that scene, somebody's opinion of that scene kind of turn in a way. It's this film called Bone Lake. Interesting title in the context. But yeah, like I don't know, like people were talking about challengers and like erotic thrillers and erotic dramas coming back and stuff like that. Some people saying these movies, even these films, feel like Chase compared to a Basic Instinct or a Slither. That's the like Sliver. That's the one with like Sharon Stone and Tom Berenger and William Baldwin, where he's got the cameras in this like penthouse and stuff. Very 90s. Yeah. You know, it's like the 90s thing of like obsession with like, you know, like video recording like adult encounters. So many movies in the 90s.
It had,
those are like such a notable plot devices, like Hitchcock for like the video recording age. I don't know if that article quite applies to me. And like with animation, it's really interesting. I do meet like, I mean, it's like it anytime you see a trend form, sometimes you always feel like, I wonder how big this really is. I guess living in the internet age, you feel smaller. But I meet like a lot of like young people who are like want to go into animation who don't watch a lot of live action films or don't seem to like. It seems like going back to a point you mentioned later about like cinephilia, like generationally how that ties in. I find it interesting. Like there's a big conversation like Zoomers aren't interested in movies anymore and like aren't interested in movies anymore in the way previous generations were. And they mean like in terms of like the degree to which they watch movies. It's not like a single. It's not like its own distinct cultural event anymore to a lot of people, which makes me really sad. I think it's a beautiful art form.
Yes.
You know, even you don't. Like people like kind of devalue art a lot. It just feels like kind of like a bellwether of like where we're going. We're going even further towards just like art doesn't matter, because there are people who it's like I watch TikTok, or I watch, you know, I go on Instagram, watch, you know, this like get ready with me video. Like you can make art online.
Yes.
But a lot of the stuff feels like just like an extension
like
of
the
advertising.
U-Hauls. Yes. Yeah. I feel like that as well too.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna also tie into what we're gonna talk about a little bit later on as well too. But I do want to mention your thing with animation.
Yeah.
I think we also, like you mentioned that social media, about TikTok and stuff. I think social media and younger people's attention spans as well too. I think that could possibly maybe also, because like a lot of animation, especially a lot of animation now, is very fast.
I've heard
very
people
quick.
mention that. Coco Melon's a show I keep hearing brought up when it comes to how fast animation is. I've never seen it. I've never seen it like a clip or anything.
Like,
I may have seen like an image, like a still, but I've never watched.
Yeah, I feel like I think it also like if you see, I'm not an anime person, but like from the animes that I've like like the clips that I've seen of animes, like a lot of it is very fast paced. It's very kind of like a lot of it. Some of it is very in your face, as like some of it as of recently. So I think it also might have to do with the attention span, in that like. You know, that's probably why a lot of young people might veer towards animation. But then it kind of get back to that, it kind of reminds me of that quote from Steven Spielberg about animation, about like how a lot of storytellers should look into animation as a way, because like now we're seeing kind of like not only the growth of like animation, because animation was always used to be, this is what kids, it was always referred to as like something that this was what kids watch, adults don't watch animation. But that has definitely changed so much over time as well too.
What's funny about that is like throughout history you always have like pockets where like adult animation has kind of a presence. Even when you look at like Looney Tunes has like a lot of irreverent jokes, and it's not like say like Family Guy. Like Family Guy is like a different
ball game.
Different ball game, but Looney Tunes is like a lot of animation so densely layered with comedy.
Yes.
Like, you know, being faster in animation than like live action is really interesting. I remember there was a video essay from Tony Zhou, Every Frame of Painting, terrific channel, very famous video essayist online. He talked about the legendary Japanese animator Satoshi Kon, made Perfect Blue, terrific film. Another terrific film, Paprika. I wish we talked about that today briefly. Also made Millennium Actress, and his other film is Tokyo Godfathers. He made a show called Paranoia Agent. He had a very short-lived career. He died when he was like in his 40s. But Kon is interesting because in that video essay, like Tony Zhou mentioned, like in animation, it seemed like you could make things faster, like fewer frames, information can register, and image can like, which is interesting. I think it may be because you don't have like motion blur like you do in real life. It's animated in, it's drawn in, hand drawn stuff, you know. But it's really fascinating. Like going back to like how fast paced things are, it's like everything is made to be like some
really
kind
quick.
Yeah, and it's like there are things that are like have like advertising built into the framework. It's not like you have a commercial break. It's like even if you have a commercial break, but there's certain things where it's like they'll just kind of like throw a product in, and I'm like, is this advertising?
Yeah.
Is this like, or is just like passionately talking about a product you love because it's part of the framework, the enjoyment of the video is the interest you're sharing, and it's like that line is blurring.
It's being blurred, and I think a lot of advertisers are catching on to that.
Oh yeah.
Which
they're ruthless.
Yes.
A lot of ads use AI now. There's this. I'm gonna call them out. Rent-A-Center, they had this ad where like people were like looking into the camera with like widening eyes because there's some sale coming up.
Yeah.
That ad is complete. That's AI. The images of like the people looking into the camera. Celino and Barnes, I think, has like a commercial with like testimonies from AI humans.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna call AI humans. I'm just gonna call them AI. Screw that.
Coca-Cola also is doing is remaking kind of like their classic commercial, but using AI to do the commercial. Why don't you just show the old commercial if that's the case?
Hire some people to do a new commercial. Like you have a bunch of money. You're owned by a giant conglomerate. You can get the money easily. Stop trying to like cut out the middle. The middleman should not be the artist. Like get out of here. Like it's.
And it's interesting that you mentioned kind of like that line between kind of like you have this product or this thing based on a TV show or a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're passionate about it and advertisers are going into it, because it's kind of reminding me of the marketing for Wicked.
Ooh.
I am going to
can't defy gravity now. Stop.
It's kind of reminding me of the marketing for Wicked. Because like I will be upfront, straight up with you as a person that is a fan of The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
The fan of like all these things. I have seen myself buy merchandise. Merchandise based on, you know, the movie coming out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like that, like, and it's sometimes like you really have to like start catching yourself. Yeah. Because like you're seeing all these social media influencers and content creators going to like the premiere and getting all this marketing stuff from all the merchandise from like NBC Universal, from Loungefly, from like all these spaces, and it's like definitely kind of like, you know, it's the new kind of like how you see kind of like a toy on a TV commercial back in the day. It's kind of like that's what they're doing now, but on social media.
I feel like Jack Donaghy is somewhere like plotting like it feels like the world's like a 30 Rock episode now. Like you know, like it's just like good God, Lemon, don't you understand how advertising works? Like
yes, it's merchandising, like in Spaceballs, merchandising,
that's
that
right.
kind of thing.
Oh God, the movies have told us all along. No, I mean, that's
but it's just like now it's like becoming a little too. It's becoming because there's so much like within like the past couple of months everything is Wicked. Yeah. And like at one, you know, I'm excited for it for one, but at the same time I'm just like also acknowledging and kind of like reflecting like how is somebody gonna buy all this stuff?
Right.
Like how is somebody gonna like you have people like have whole rooms set up filled with like wicked like merchandise, like wicked apparel and like dolls and all that stuff
Oh my
as well
god.
too. It's
And then the popcorn buckets, like they did
yeah.
for Wicked Part 1 and Dune Part 2 they
Yes.
did it for, and that stupid popcorn bucket. SNL, like, just to like tie back to like, I mean, we're already talking about advertising still, but like NBC Universal call them out again. In 2016, they signed this like deal with like the producers at SNL, Lorne Michaels, for this like kind of integrated like marketing approach, going back to 30 Rock,
Yes.
where like certain sketches would just basically like the ad parodies, certain ones would just be like something of an
Yeah.
advertiser. There's a J.C. Penney sketch. There's a sketch about the Dune 2 popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
Like it's like really stupid stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's disgusting. And it's just like where's the fun satire? Like where's the satire of corporate America? You can't. It's hard to do that when they're just like they want to really get in your pockets. Like
Yeah, now they are corporate America. That's the
SNL,
thing,
man,
you know.
it's like it's like
And we're probably gonna see it when Ariana Grande shows up for SNL
Oh, yeah.
on.
they're gonna do
they're
it.
gonna do it. They're gonna do a pair. They
It's
just
not
like
even just
premiered
like parodies
one.
on SNL used to be like kind of fun things where it's like it was like sketch comedy like meeting pop culture, and now it can sometimes feel just like, oh, this is just like a bit of advertising. They'll give you
Yeah.
like a few of the like sort of biting ironic jokes, but they won't give you all the good ones.
Yes.
And it's like even like the ones you get aren't like biting enough. Barbie is like a great example.
Yeah.
That movie I always think about as like just like this conundrum of a creation. It's like you want to be this sort of ironic satire of like corporate America.
But then you're also feeding into it.
And
at
it's
the
not
end of the
even just
day.
like that they're made by that they were made through a studio. The studio really sunk their hands into it in the sense that like Greta Gerwig said, they let us get away with more jokes than I thought. And I'm like,
Yeah, because they're gonna make money off.
they're
of
gonna make
it.
money off
Yeah.
of you kind of like putting this like furrowed brow of like irony on it, which has a lot of great power, but it's like it's like that's the way they use it's just disgusting. Let's get around to Turkey Day.
Yes. So, yes, Thanksgiving is around the corner. Or Thanksgiving,
Yes.
is around the corner. So like usually like this time of the year, a lot of popular movies come out. I think this is kind of like that second time of the year next to like the summer blockbuster, where like some of the most prominent movies that we know start appearing.
Right.
Today actually November 22nd, some of the biggest movies that we know have come out, such as Toy Story, as we discussed, as
That was
such
a
as
Thanksgiving
Adam's
movie.
Family,
Adam's Family's Thanksgiving.
Coco, Wicked. The first Wicked came out this time last year. So November is a big kind of time period for movies to come out. So I'm just wondering kind of like what has been your kind of like favorite movie, or like favorite movie that you always usually watch during the Thanksgiving season, that kind of stuff. Do you consider certain movies like a Thanksgiving kind of movie?
One that I think is a great pick, Halloween. It's set on Halloween. That's the crazy thing about this film. Arsenic and Old Lace, this old Frank Capra screwball comedy with Cary Grant. Cary Grant plays this playwright who just got married, famous bachelor in the film, got tied down, essentially goes to visit the two aunts that raised him. Turns out that they're putting lonely old men out of their misery by like poisoning, by inviting them to dinner and poisoning their drink with arsenic.
Ooh, so this is like not a so this is a Thanksgiving movie, but kind of like
It's this dark comedy
dark one.
from the man who made It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's a really funny movie, and it's very broad and silly. It's like utter histrionics and how broad it is, but it's like just on the hair of like it works wonderfully. If it pushed an inch over, like less than an inch over, it would be like too much. It's really funny. I think it's the first thing I ever watched. I knew who Cary Grant was.
Yeah.
he's an icon. But
Yes.
one of the first things I watched him in, that and North by Northwest is another one I watched him in first. But yeah, like it's a hilarious movie, and yeah, it's so funny.
What makes you kind of tend to watch it over and over again, especially during this time of the year?
It's not a ton of a tradition, but it's semi-regularly. Like I just always have the urge to check it out around this time of year, even if I don't follow up on it, checking it out around this time of year. I'm like, it's a great fall movie, and it's a nice cozy one to watch with the family. It's really funny, and it's I remember like watching when I've had like relatives over. Yeah, it's interesting, like as an old movie to like introduce like younger audiences to older films in the sense that, like I'm kind of surprised. I watched it in high school in class, and it was the movie that was basically picked by like it was a few options given to us by our AP psychology teachers. That, and I think it was Sixth Sense. And I forgot what the other one was. They were both like, they were all modern films except Arsenic, Gold and Lace, and everyone chose Arsenic, Gold and Lace, which was a surprise.
That's
like,
surprising.
that was really surprising. And it's half the class fell asleep, half the class stayed up and loved it. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. It was really funny.
And this was for AP Psych?
That was when we were in AP Psych. I think it was just like a movie day. That's kind of a funny pick, like for movie day in AP Psych.
Yeah, and then half of the class fell asleep, and then half of the class was enjoying the movie.
Right. What about you? What's Thanksgiving?
I'm definitely like, I lean towards like watching a lot of musicals during this time of the year. So I watch a lot. So I hoped, and also a lot of animated. I know we were discussing about nostalgia, but this is the time of the year where I do watch a lot of animated movies, a lot of the nostalgic movies from my childhood. Yeah. And a lot of musicals because that is tied into my childhood nostalgia. Yes. So I watch a lot of like movies like Dreamgirls. I think that's definitely like The Wiz. The Cinderella movie with Brandy and Whitney Houston. Yes. So like those movies. But another movie that I really watch, it's not a holiday movie per se, but I don't know why I watch this a lot every year during Thanksgiving, but Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's just something about that movie where I just have to watch it every single year.
That's another one that I think that was a Thanksgiving release around that time.
That's probably why.
That could be.
Could be.
It's a great pick. Like, there's always like a big studio comedy that comes out around this time of year. Yeah, I don't.
It doesn't take place during Thanksgiving. There's nothing, maybe except for like the scene where they're at the dinner table, which is a hilarious scene.
Yeah. And it's like the nose falls. Yeah.
But like, it's one that I always have to watch every single year. Like
nice.
If I feel like if I don't watch it, like I didn't fulfill my Thanksgiving kind of like thing. Wow. Yeah.
That's funny. And
then the other movie I watch every year that kind of gears into a holiday movie is March of the Wooden Soldiers,
the Laurel and Hardy one?
Yes, yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh.
But I've heard. I love Laurel and Hardy, but I've never seen that one.
Yeah, that one's a good one. I've always watched it ever since I was a kid on Thanksgiving. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully people at home in the comments tell us what are some Thanksgiving movies you like.
Yes.
Yes.
We want to hear from you guys. What are some of like your Thanksgiving films? I know some of them, it doesn't even have to be related to Thanksgiving.
Right.
But just like what films do you watch during this time of the year that kind of give you kind of like that Thanksgiving feel?
Yeah. All right. So on to the next. I know somebody's going to like probably mention Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in the comments.
That's another one,
Everyone brings that one up.